Jim, let's go from the world of shopping and the world of SmackDown. Let's get it all out of the way. And this next one includes what I think was the segment of the week. WWE Raw, and they were in Brussels, Belgium.
Brussels, Belgium. I always loved their sprouts. Actually, no, I think they even smell. I don't like the taste of them, and their odor is quite unpleasant. But they were sold out, and another big crowd. And if Barcelona was up and energetic, these people had them beat. And do they, all these foreign countries, do they pass out a songbook? Or do they have some type of musical? Because they seem so coordinated. It's like thousands of them not only are singing the wrestler songs that they would hear on TV and obviously know, but they're singing random tunes and chants that is in their own languages, but by the thousands. How is this knowledge of what to do transmitted with that mass numbers?
I don't know. It seems to be a thing at a lot of these European shows. With this one specifically, it was a fun game to play. It was almost like Where's Waldo? Find a girl. A lot of men singing and dancing literally with their arms in the air. Not too many women that I saw.
It looked like a Village People concert. But so they did the Rock and Cena and Cody history package where, they explain all the things that had gone on and we brought it up to date. And then they come to the arena. And again, they've got an incredible crowd shot. And if you might be able to Google how many people were in this building, but I don't know whether as they used to call it, the fisheye lens or whatever, the drone shots, these fucking crowds are massive. And they milked it with no music, no nothing. And then suddenly Cena music hit. And it made a boo. It was surly. The mood turned surly. The wind changed direction. And then out comes Cena, and he's dressed the same. He's got the same little, what is that? A small little, like a burger towel with his saying on it. But now he's got the dour face, and he's not energetic. He's walking, and he's just, it looks like he just sniffed a fart. And as the music is playing, they start chanting with the music, singing, John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks, just over and over. And he walked out there, and as soon as he got in the ring, they're still doing that. And then when they pulled the music down, he was just milking it. That's all he had to do. He's just looking at him. And they got the dueling chant going. Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks. And that went for a while. And they're just hopping up and down. And then he milks it again. He started to put the microphone down, and he was like he was going to walk out, and got big boos. And they chanted, you sold out. You sold out. And so it was minutes before he had to say anything.
Do you remember what the first thing he said was?
Well, yes. When a person is properly grounded, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval.
Oh, I actually thought, didn't he say before that while they were booing, he said, you're making this easy?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, that was over the top of all of the yelling. I forgot about it because I wrote down that quote and I forgot the throwaway remark. But yeah, well, but see, it works. Because they were making it easy in the job that he was there to do, but also it works in the story. You're making it easy for me to break up with you, for me to fucking tell you what I think of you. And it was, again, we've always said the one thing John Cena could do was talk. That's what got him noticed at OVW to begin with. I mean, his look, his work ethic. There were better in-ring workers, but every other category, he was, off the charts from the start, but he can talk. And his deal is, again, for 25 years, I've been the victim of an abusive relationship. And everything that he was saying would get a reaction of some kind. And he's pissed off, and he's believable with it. The face he's got and the delivery. All you people have done is bully me and expect me to be your damn puppet. And the entire arena would chant, "Fuck you, Cena." And it was a combination of a wrestling interview and many of the lines that he built up to and delivered and made them work in the context. The lines that you would say if you're breaking up with an abusive fucking spouse or significant other or whatever. You've used me as a puppet. And I mean, so it was a brilliant juxtaposition of those two things. And I'm not a baby face or a heel. I'm a human being, and you've been awful to me. It is how the fans have always mistreated him from the start. Sure, they'd cheer him for a second, and then he'd work even harder, and then they'd boo him, and nothing was ever good enough. And he came back and he worked hard and he won and won and won, and they hated it. And the people again chant, "Shut the fuck up." And he tried one last time to do something nice for you guys, and you ruined it. How many times have you heard that, Brian? Maybe you don't want to comment. I tried to do something nice for you, and you ruined it. And they started singing, "Sha-na na na, hey, 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 goodbye."
No, 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 no.
Well, Sha-na na did it.
No, they didn't.
Well, they should have done it. So nothing I ever do is good enough. All you care about is yourselves. All right, now that I've said that to you, I'll go back to Cena's interview. No, so this was what it was. It was like, not one of you sons of bitches asked me how I felt. Just what do we get? What do we want more from you? More. You get what you've earned, which is nothing. And again, it was great. He was venting his spleen. It sounded like you believed he was saying what he meant.
What'd you think about the part where he singled out the people wearing his merch? Because they're still selling the merch, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And then saying, "Even you guys." And he turns on them. He starts going off on them.
And they had the shot of the little moon-faced little 8-year-old boy who was just dumbstruck with whatever emotion. But yeah, because they had the dueling chant. "Well, even the ones who cheer for me. Oh, that's all you ever wanted me to do was give you more of me. And you took. And what did you give?" And so it brought the people who still were cheering for him into the whole fucking plot against him as well. I mean, it was great when he mentioned Cody's name. That got huge cheers. They're completely on Cody's side. He's the captain now. And that's what he said. "You've stolen my time. You've made me your toy and the butt of an invisible joke for 15 years. That was good. You're pathetic. You wear hustle, loyalty, and respect on your shirt, but I live it. You're awful people. And I'm breaking up with you. You're dumped. You don't matter. You know I'm right and you're wrong." It was fucking great. And as soon as he said that, Cody music plays. And now they're singing the song and they're, whoa. And what a fucking entrance in a sea of people. And it's two top guys from different generations, and the people are standing and screaming and chanting for Cody, and they wouldn't let Cody talk because they were chanting apparently in Belgiumish. What do they talk over there? Belgiumish?
That was English.
Well, no, some of the chants were in English, but they were chanting something at one point in a language that I couldn't understand what they were saying. But now here, are you trying to skimper around the point that you don't know what language they speak?
They speak English.
In Belgium. They don't speak English in Belgium. Well, I mean, they do. They might.
Oh, no, Dutch,
but not
French, and German are the official languages.
Jesus Christ. How long does it take to go to school till you're 35?
See, that's what I'm saying though. You mix all those together, it's English.
Anyway, Cody jumps in at perfect. And this is what I'm talking about when I say even when they have heels talking to heels or baby faces talking to baby faces, and this idea that they blurred the lines and that the shades of gray, there can be shades of gray, and they're doing it brilliantly here with the whole reason that Drew turned. Seth hasn't turned, but he's embracing being the heel in a lot of this. But there's still always, you've got to be true to what you would do. It will hurt you if you do things that the people don't believe should be in your character as presented to them, and it's why they lie. That's why MJF is in the shape he's in now. And Cody is one of the smartest guys as far as being a babyface, with not doing things he shouldn't do. And of course, he's in a very well-structured company, but then along every once in a while comes the final boss. I got an idea. But the great talent knows how to speak and say things in a certain way to lend a certain subliminal meaning to it, to make it positive or negative, to make it a heelish response from the people or a babyface-ish. And now Cena has gone all the way on one side and he's the heel, and Cody comes out. Who the hell are you? Defends them immediately. So as soon as Cena said, now listen, kid, Cody said, no, I'm not. It's not kid, it's WWE champion. And he took the people's side. They are the ones that have made you. And who the hell are you? Where's the guy on the shirt? I was excited about going face to face with John Cena, and I got this. This better not show up at WrestleMania or I'll retire it early. Fine, Cena, I want to wrestle him, not this whiny bitch. And woo, the people, big cheers. And Cody walked out to chants and said they didn't have to play music. They're chanting, they're singing. Cena's in the ring speechless. Cody leaves, he drops the microphone, no music. He leaves to booze and sha-na-na-na, hey, 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 goodbye. From the entire arena.
No.
No. And Nana wasn't there because it wasn't Swerve's house. But it was a 30-minute segment. And again, brilliant verbally from both guys. Cena talked the majority of it, but Cody did exactly what he needed to do. And then right afterwards, Michael Cole, as the announcer, cut a hell of a promo about Cena being an ungrateful prick and how he's turned his back on all the people. This is classic fucking wrestling. And besides this being, in my mind, and I'll let you tell me what you thought in a second, but besides this being a great segment and being 30 minutes and not getting old, and you got all that reaction and just the content. But this angle, they've sold me on this angle. I like heel Cena against babyface Cody. Fuck the merchandising to the kids, as many people have said. But it didn't need The Rock at all.
And they didn't tie him into this at all in anything they did.
No, didn't mention him. And it didn't need his intervention. If the same thing had happened between Cena and Cody, with The Rock never having showed up, never having asked for his soul, never having demanded an answer, just Cody coming out to shake John Cena's hand and congratulate him, and Cena kicking him in the balls, I think it would have been the same response, and it would have been just as good and made more sense probably. But this was wonderful.
Do you think this was one of John Cena's best promos?
Yes, because that's the thing. He's had fire and passion against the heels before, But he hadn't had a chance in a long fucking time to come out and vent and call people, you're awful, awful people. It's just, you're pathetic. And show that, and turn all the invisible jokes. Oh, fuck you. You can't see me now, but I can see you. And you're crying. So I think, yes, because he's great at, verbally at whatever he does. Go ahead.
Did they need a confrontation here, especially if it wasn't going to end with any physicality?
Yes, I like this because we wanted to hear what Cena had to say, his motivations, why he's done all this. That was a curiosity, but we needed to see Cody come out and not only stand up to him and take up for the fans so that they're even more behind Cody and that their opinion was represented, but also so that Cody could say, I want to face the great John Cena, the one we used to know, instead of this fucking whiny bitch that you've turned into, because that not only will add a little extra heat to the match at WrestleMania, but eventually by the end of the year, probably John will recognize the error of his ways, and perhaps Cody's the one that finds it in him somehow. Who knows?
It'll be like Sergeant Slaughter crying that he wants his country back. You made a lot of poor decisions in the last few years, Sarge.
Yes, and there's a little matter of that espionage charge hanging over your head. But,
espionage Sarge.
But they didn't need to fight here because Cody actually stood up to him more by just telling him off and saying, I think you're pathetic right now. Find the real you. It was very Dust-ish. Find your guts, Pilgrim. You could see John Wayne saying that. Go home and find your guts and meet me out behind the barn.
It was very Dusty-ish just in terms of the over-the-top defense of the fans. Not to say that was the wrong thing, but just, that crazy about, like, these people, it's all them, it's them, that's Dusty. It's all about the people. And again, you brought up the other big thought I had, which was The Rock. The Rock wasn't mentioned. At least if he was, I don't remember it. They didn't really need to. And it helps Cena not having The Rock there while he's doing this stuff.
Yo, God, that would have killed it.
Yeah.
That would have killed it because the spotlight needed to be on. And I think they all know that. And even The Rock would have to readily acquiesce to that. And also, he probably didn't want to go to fucking Barcelona, Cucamonga, Belgium. But no, Cena needed to be out there alone. But he didn't tell any story about why he sold his soul to a higher power for movie roles or whatever. It was all about turning on the fans, and that was exactly what it needed to be. And he was smart enough to know that. If he came out and it might have got heat if he said, oh yeah, I've given my soul to The Rock so he can make me a movie star late, but it would make him subservient, and he's the guy that's going to wrestle in the main event. So he has to be the fucking guy. And he's the fucking guy. He's the fucking guy.
And that was the highlight of Raw by far.
Well, yeah, but there was more of Raw. It just was, it was a little overdone sometimes. The contract signing with Bianca and EO, and now we see it's a case of anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you with the girls and the guys. We have a girls or a guys three-way. Now we got to have a girls three-way. And it does at least can it not have to be on the same, I know somebody's going to say it's not going to be on the same show. It's going to be, one will be on Saturday and one will be on Sunday. It's in the same goddamn build. It seems a little coincidental that all these things would happen at the same time in both genders' locker rooms.
I like the new rule. You can just sign a contract and all of a sudden it's your contract.
Well, no, to be fair, they said it's not legally binding, but since she has possession of the contract, as you know what they say, possession is 9/10 of the law and ignorance is no excuse for the law.
Ask a
or
cop.
something like that.
I did that as a kid once. I asked a police officer, what about possession? I've never heard that before in my life.
Well, they should have gone back to cop school. What were they doing giving a guy like that a gun and a badge and setting him out to talk to children when he didn't even know the basic fucking old wives' tales about what's legal? But they had the contract signing where Bianca and EO managed to struggle out. No one will disrespect her again. She's the world champion, and after WrestleMania, she'll still be the world champion. And she signed the contract, and the fans chanted, "You deserve it." And somebody on Twitter said, clip that like 10 seconds of them chanting, "You deserve it." So I guess this will shut up Jim Cornette about EO. No. These people like goddamn anything. I'm not saying she's not over even, but I don't care.
She's a good wrestler.
Oh, she was wonderful at doing moves. She can't promo. She's 5 foot tall. And
she's not 5 foot tall. You say
okay, 4'11",
5 feet tall to so many people. She's probably
4'11".
I'm gonna say, and I'm not looking or anything, at least 5'4". No, 5'3". At least 5'3".
All right, now you change your story.
Well, because I'm comparing it to Rey Mysterio, and he's 5'2", I believe. So I didn't think she was 2 inches taller than Rey. I thought 1 was acceptable.
Well, nevertheless. And Bianca, that's where I mentioned earlier, she looked like she dipped her head in a bucket of shellac. Her hair was painted on the top of her head. What the fuck? That was odd. But she's pissed because EO's pissed, and EO slapped her last week, and she's not going to disrespect her again either. After last week, we're giving EO a pass, but she better not do that again. And she delivered this in a way where it was kind of heelish, and she got booed from the people. And then Bianca signed the contract, and then Rhea's music played, and then we got a big pop. And now here we go. And she's not going to sit back and do nothing like Bianca. She got slapped last week, and she's pissed about it. And Bianca got in her business to begin with, and she's pissed about that. And they start to bicker back and forth. And it's the same thing as last week. They're finger pointing and yelling at each other, and EO's standing behind the table like, what the fuck? What about me? So EO meaning, slides the table around, put it in the right place, and comes around like she's going to interrupt them, and Bianca just reaches out and pie faces her again. But when Bianca does that, Rhea Ripley headbutts Bianca, who flies backwards onto the table. And then she kicks EO and power bombs her on top of Bianca. And boy, now where were they? The country here a few weeks ago where those tables were almost goddamn wafer thin. Here, that fucking table didn't break. Now, I know EO only weighs 82 pounds, but Bianca was already laying on it.
See, again, you can't stop taking shots at her for no reason.
I didn't say, I just,
She's probably 125.
Well, the table was extra strength, and it didn't break.
But how does that feel if you're Bianca and that happens?
It don't feel good. It's like, oh, God damn it. Except, if it was a real heavyweight, it'd been even better. Or even worse. But nevertheless, that's where Rhea picked up the contract and signed it and then took it with her. And Adam Pearce was pissed at this impropriety. And so we're going to get a 3-way. And we're going to have the 3-way on the guy's side. And one will be one night, one will be the other night. And I would rather, definitely in this one, I'd rather see Rhea and Bianca one-on-one. In the guys, I have to say this year, it kind of works. I'm interested to see what they're going to put together, but they're the best in the world in various stages of their game. So, but this is...
for both the men and the women, because I like them a little better than you do. I'd like to see every one of these combinations in a singles match. It's just I've come to hate multi-man matches, let alone 3-way matches. And I know it's been kind of coin of the realm since... at least 93. Well, no, it was introduced really in 93, but it really got popularized a few years later. But to me, Rhea versus EO is more intriguing. Rhea versus Bianca is more intriguing. Bianca versus EO And is that every combination? And then the same thing with
Well, there's more, but then, hold the pickle, hold the lettuce. There's all kinds of combinations,
but same thing with the men. Roman versus Punk and Roman versus Rollins to me is more intriguing than all. I'm not saying it won't be a good match, but it's more intriguing than just another three-way match where there's just creative ways to break up the pin for the last 10 minutes.
yes. But with the guys this year, at least I don't have the dread of, oh God, it's not only it's gonna suck, but it's just meaningless because they do have an issue. It is something marketable, promotable that they can sell tickets on. So I know the girls have an issue too, but the guys had theirs first.
Hey, one last question on all this. Rhea Ripley, now that she's kind of clear-cut as a babyface, do they have to do something to keep her over strong? Because I even hear she stole the contract, but she lost the match. She got shut out of this thing. Now she's trying to get involved. She doesn't seem like she's in control like she used to be. Do you have to do anything different?
I'm truthfully almost thinking that they might be about to turn her heel to work with Bianca coming out of this.
I don't know. Bianca's acting more heelish by the week. I've been saying this for a little while now. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but out of the two of them, I think Bianca, I would think, is going to be a heel before Rhea.
I don't know, but I wouldn't mind seeing Rhea turn heel and working with Bianca. They could just use EO for Rhea to beat in the three-way without beating Bianca, so that's fresh.
I don't know. They got the Jade issue, so I think that's going to, whatever they're doing with Bianca, it's going to have to incorporate whatever's going on with the Jade stuff.
Well, but Jade's got a fucking deal with Naomi, who's going to come back, chomping at the bit for revenge.
I did see that. Was that on SmackDown? The clip with Jade being interviewed in the empty building? Did you see that?
Yeah, but no, normally that would have been on AEW, but this was... The building was empty on purpose on this one.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yes, I remember that somewhere.
And Liv and Raquel walked in and started heckling her?
Yeah. So who knows? They're opening up all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of possibilities.
All right. Did you watch anything else on Raw?
Yes, I did. Well, besides Jey Uso beating Austin Theory in 30 seconds and then beating both the heels up, him and Waller, and then missing did you see the missed dive? That was a Twitter thing.
Not only did I see it, but the Twitter thing was the comparison. It was almost move for move, second for second, frame for frame with Top Dollar going over the top.
Except when Flop Dollar landed, he walked off and acted like he did something. Jay rolled back in and gave the camera a sheepish look like, yeah, I fucked up. And that's why people like him. And they thought Flop Dollar was a fat fucking manatee. But then Gunther comes in and slaps a fucking sleeper on, and Jay fought back and took the belt and threw it at Gunther, and we had more yeeting. But I did want to mention the blooper that poor old Jay had with the dive, but he just didn't get his feet under him. But then Braun Breaker, one more thing. The main event was for the Intercontinental title, Finn Balor and Braun Breaker. And Finn's not all that interesting, but he's a hell of a technician, and I want to see how Braun was coming along. And Braun is now the de facto babyfaceness because he's cool and the people know it, and they're impressed by his physicality and the dogs barking and the whole thing. So he didn't really have to turn in any fashion or save anybody or change himself as much as just these obnoxious heels, the Judgment Day, were able to get under his skin. And now people are with him. And again, they had this match. He's right there for everything. He's got the timing, the facials, the body language, the look, the aggression. He's got the trademark shit, the clothesline where he leaps over the desk and takes them with him. And the leaping Brakensteiner. And they did a nice finishing sequence, but it was back and forth, but logical shit. And Braun hung with him. He needs to watch the punches to the head. He's using it as I'm waving my arm and backing you up because I'm about to shoot you off and do something big. He needs to have more contact on his, and more wham and more oomph, more snap, whatever they call it, on his punches to the head. But otherwise, boom, boom, boom. He went for a superplex. Carlito distracted the referee. Dominic pulled Braun down off the superplex, but he accidentally crotched Finn at the same time, and Braun nailed the heels off, hit his Brakensteiner leap off the top, and speared him 1, 2, 3, and got a big fucking pop. And they had a good match. And then here's the bad part. And Brian, tell me what you think. The heels jumped Braun, started getting heat on him, and music played, and here came Penta. And Penta hit and started a comeback, and then Braun got up and speared Carlito. And the heels bailed, and Penta and Braun had the stare down, and Penta handed the belt to Braun, but then they stared at each other. I don't want to see Braun and Penta. That's going to be a styles clash. Braun is not experienced enough to deal with some of the unorthodox shit that he might encounter on the fly in the wild with Penta. What do you think?
And that was teased earlier in the night after Penta beat Kaiser. He said he wants the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. I want to see it. So we'll see if it works or not. You're probably right and it won't, but I certainly want to see what they're going to do. You know, the only thing for me missing with Braun Breaker, you know, it's almost for me, the way it feels, it's almost like an AEW run where he's having these matches and he looks impressive, but there's no feud. There's no reason to care beyond, like, I don't know. He's established who he is enough on the main roster. I need like a really good feud with really good heated promos or something.
Well, but you know, in all honesty, right now, I think they don't need it because there's so many guys on top and there's so many guys involved in something. As long as they keep Braun, it's like the Hippocratic Oath in booking. First, do no harm, right? It just keep him good and get him more experience. He's so young. We've got a belt on him, but they don't need the Intercontinental title to draw at the B show anymore. And they don't need anything really. They've got so many numbers of things hot on top, drawing, new star breaking through. They can take their time. They're not beating him. They're not making him do stupid things. They're featuring him whenever he's involved in something. It's usually to something about it gets him over, but they're not rushing it. And I don't think they need to. So that as long as you can make the people still want to bark and still want to see his shit, and every time that they do say they see the freakish hitting the ropes at 25 miles an hour or whatever, and as long as they're letting him do that and not beating him, you know, consistently, I think he's got all the time in the world.
Well, so did they, but they went about 2.5 hours. That was Raw on Netflix. And of course, Jim, Braun Breaker.
Yes.
Braun Breaker comes from a wrestling family, as we all know. A family that has to work out, that has to make sure that they're ready for the ring. And one of the key ingredients is protein. And the way you ingest your protein is important. You want to do it the delicious way. You want it to be something that tastes great. I'm a big fan of Orgain, and I think we could tell the listeners all about our fine friends, the delicious friends at Orgain.
They're delicious. I've tasted every single one of them, ladies and gentlemen. That one guy in shipping, he had a little funk on him, but he tasted all right.
Delicious products is what we were implying.
Oh yeah, the drinks. They're good too. You know, again, the Steiners, you see the protein, you see that they work out, you see that they take care of their bodies. They're muscular freaks of nature. It's all about, you don't want carbs and sugar. That leads to all kinds of things like gaining weight and getting fat and having spare tires and who knows, diabetes, heart problems, organ failure. You never know what obesity can do to you. You need less of the bad stuff and more of the good stuff. And our friends at Orgain have more of the good stuff and less of the bad stuff. There's only like 1 gram of sugar in one of these fine, delicious drinks, but there's 30 grams of protein That's why they call it a 30-gram protein shake. And it tastes just like a chocolate milkshake. That's why they call it a shake. But it's not bad like when you go to the ice cream place and you pull up and it's the drive-thru and the girl comes out on roller skates and takes your order and you want a chocolate shake and fries and tater tots and jalapeno poppers, and they bring you this shit, and just as she gets to the door, she hangs the tray on your door and the glass falls out, and then she bends over to pick up, and you reach down and you grab her by the ass, and then they call the cops. You don't want these things to happen to you.
Don't do these things. We don't want these things to happen. What we want to happen is people try some delicious Orgain and have it sent right to your door. Don't interact with the public more than you need to.
So that's what you need to do. Don't worry about the girls on the roller skates, and don't worry about breaking your car window out and eating all that fat food. You order the Orgain to be sent and delivered directly to your home, and you get the protein because you're looking to maintain a healthy lifestyle. People, everybody in the world is looking to maintain a healthy lifestyle because the alternative is death. So you can all say you're looking to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Orgain helps you do that. Do you need muscle support and recovery? Well, guzzle a couple of these bad boys and you'll be popping out biceps like Popeye, or at least triceps like Del Wilkes. You can fuel your personal best with Orgain, and you can grab one of them and go. As a matter of fact, well, sometimes you need to pay for it if it's in stores. You can't just grab it and go from the store. Then they will call the police, and there will be some punitive measures taken against you. But from your own home and your own kitchen pantry, you can grab it and go to a workout, or get in the car, or go sit out in the park and watch the squirrels and drink the squirrels like Orgain too. If you like to feed the squirrels, you ought to see the muscles these squirrels get when they drink the Orgain.
Let's just focus on human beings.
I left a half-consumed Orgain out in the backyard last summer. And when I went back out there the next day, it was completely gone. And I'll have you know that I saw a squirrel carrying a Dalmatian off.
I'll have you know that there was no verification of this story. And again, Orgain is for the humans.
I didn't have time to take a picture. Yeah, don't let the squirrels have it, because those son of a bitches, and then they'll get nasty and territorial. I'm afraid they'll kick your ass.
There's no proof. There's no evidence. There's no examples that can be cited beyond the one that was just cited. Let's focus on the living and the humans, and let's focus on Orgain, Jim.
Let's put our sights on good health, because remember, folks, there are no quick fixes. When it comes to your health, you got to get started now. You got to do your best. If you want more protein, less sugar, less carbs, more oomph in your life, give the Orgain 30-gram protein shakes a try. Right now, if you go to Orgain.com, that's Orgain, Orgain.com/Jim, and use the code Jim, you're going to get 30% off your order. That's like if you get 10 shakes, that's 3 of them for free. How can you hardly beat that? Orgain.com/Jim. Use the code Jim, 30% off your order. Get, the more you get, the more you save. So if I were you, I'd take out some bank loans. Really stock up on this day. It's so good, they may outlaw it.
Just focus on your disposable income and your income for food and get Orgain.
Well, I can tell you where you can
let's stop. No, let's not.
You can dispose of some income over at Orgain.com.
Once again, we love him here. Jim loves them in his own very special way, but you'll love them too. Them being their drinks, Orgain's drinks. Orgain! What's that one more time website promo code? Help Jim.
Yes, Orgain.com/Jim. Use the code Jim, 30% off from these fine, good tasting employees.